Joined this evening by Michael King, Consumer Credit Counseling Services, and a lot of people are taking out the plastic when it gets to the holiday season. What are some of the things you think people need to look at when they're looking at their bills and reviewing their statements?
Well, the first thing you want to look at is whether or not all the purchases that you have on there are legitimate.
Okay.
There's a lot of identity theft going on during the holidays because the credit cards are out, people are taking pictures with their cell phones. You got to be really protective of your identity.
What are they taking? Are they taking pictures of your card?
They'll take a picture of the credlet card.
Really?
Yeah,
over your shoulder, like while you're at the register?
Shoulder. You may not even realize it. You just want to make sure. Let's say for instance, there's a clerk, or you go out to eat or something, where your card is used twice. I mean, it happens. It could be an honest mistake, but if you don't catch it on your statement, you're going to end up paying more than you should.
Yeah.
You should always look at a couple things right off the bat. Whether there's a past due amount, what the charges are. You want to take a look at the interest rate that they're charging you. Make sure it's not different than the previous month, and if it is different, hopefully it went down.
What can you do? I mean, let's say you pull out the bill and December got much higher than November. What can you do?
Get on the phone with the creditor right away. The only way to get your credit your interest rate down is to engage the creditor in a frank discussion of, what do we do to get this, to get the interest rate down. A lot of times what they'll do is they'll increase the interest rate just because of market fluctuations, and they'll keep it that way. But if you call, it's a totally different situation. They're much more receptive than people imagine.
Really? I guess I'm surprised to hear
absolutely.
that, because I think big credit card companies in wherever in the U.S., they don't care about me, they don't care about what I bought.
Yeah.
Is it that?
And there's a little truth to that. I mean, a cliche becomes a cliche for a reason. But, call, engage them, talk to a supervisor if you have to. You can feel out the person that you're talking to, make sure that, maybe they just don't want to help, maybe they don't know what they can do, but speak to a supervisor. They've got a lot more authority to help you.
Okay, so if you're worried about their bill, there might be a little bit of wiggle room out there if your rate just kind of jumps crazy.
Yeah, and if you've got multiple credit lines, you can always use the argument. I'm going to take this balance, put it over here where the interest rate's lower. Creditors are receptive to that kind of language because they don't want to lose business. They'd rather make something than have your business go away.
So if you have 3 credit cards and you look at all your interest rates and you take the lowest one, you say to bank A, all right, well, I'm just going to roll my balance over to that cheaper one. Maybe your first bank says, all right, I'll work with you a little bit. Is that something that you find that actually works?
Yeah, well, if people have that ability to do that, I always refer them to that before, say, for instance, if they're looking for any help from like a third-party program, always engage the creditor. They'll be surprised. Creditors are being a lot more receptive than they ever have been. People are used to the way it was 2005 and before, where creditors pretty much shut them out.
Right.
It was a credit bonanza. They didn't have to bend over backwards for anybody, but now, the credit market is such where they want to keep all the clients that they have, and they don't want anybody to default.
So I guess that's positive for the consumer, Michael.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you very much for your time this evening, and that is tonight's Talk Back.